On the eastern edge of California's peninsular ranges, the Jacamba Mountains reveal their dramatic pattern: tall, jagged spines with steep slopes dropping into dusty valleys. On a recent morning, Cristina Aiello looks out of the window of a small plane to see how far they extend into Mexico.
The chain of mountains ahead of us, it's all part of the peninsular ranges, which go all the way from Palm Springs down into Baja California Sur.
She's a biologist with the Wildlands Network. She's trekked here in the rugged Jacamba Wilderness before. The aerial view offers a new perspective.
And the Peninsular Ranges is a pretty narrow north-south oriented range.
And a moment of reflection.
So before we kind of fragmented and developed this habitat, that mountain range was one continuous range of habitat for species like peninsular bighorn sheep.
It wasn't until the 1990s that miles of steel plates began dividing most of the California-Mexico region. Where nature provides a natural barrier, the metal wall stops. The rocky ridges didn't stop the bighorn sheep from migrating between both countries. But recently, concertina wire right behind me in Imperial County, just off the Jacamba Wilderness, has been added, and that's cut access to a lot of animals like bighorn sheep.
The bollard wall stops, and that is where the razor wire begins.
U.S. Customs and Border Protection, or CBP, has been adding large coils of concertina wire along the near vertical slopes. They're part of the federal government's plan to seal the last remaining gaps in the border wall. Aiello says they put collars on some of the sheep and are tracking
for signs of them being caught in the fence, because right now, Customs and Border Protection are telling us concertina wire is not a threat to wildlife.
But, she says, wildlife does not recognize the wire fencing as an impassable barrier. They may attempt to cross it and risk getting tangled up and injured. Across the border in Mexico, Enrique Ruiz hikes the dusty desert valleys Aiello saw from the sky. He's a researcher at the Autonomous University of Baja California. He's looking for bighorn sheep.
This is the proof of the sheep.
Droppings the size of lima beans left near where water leaks from a pipe. Ruiz says they come here and to a nearby oasis to drink. He says closing the border wall will split the species' home range in half.
En Estados Unidos es donde tienen la comida. Si se dan cuenta o si pudieran ver, pues aquí no hay mucha vegetación de la cual se puedan alimentar los borregos. Pero aquí vienen por el agua.
Borregos, or sheep, are one of the most cherished animals in Baja California. Their iconic curled horns and grit against the desert environment are depicted in indigenous rock engravings. To preserve this emblematic species, the university established a sanctuary. Reese works on the sanctuary project. He says conservationists are shifting their focus to the border region because of the closure. They're starting to work with Aiello to document wildlife crossings before the wall is completed.
El objetivo del estudio pues, sería demostrar la importancia que tiene el mantenerlo abierto.
Ruiz and Aiello say wildlife openings on the wall are one way to keep the habitats connected. They want small passages the size of a sheet of paper and larger ones that accommodate animals like the endangered bighorn sheep. The Wildlands Network has evidence that these passages are working in other states. Their cameras show crossings by mountain lions, javelinas, and coyotes.
It can allow animals to get some resources that they need. That, at least, is avoiding some of the worst impacts. So we think they're going to be included here in California as well.
CBP confirmed that it is working to identify locations here for small wildlife passages. But there are no plans for large openings. Instead, large animals would have to use new floodgates if they are open. Aiello worries the option is incompatible with how some species migrate. She hopes CBP will be open to other ideas.
I think asking for no new border barrier is unrealistic, and we've kind of accepted that. But I think that doesn't mean we totally give up the effort for making things better for wildlife. I think we just adjust what we ask for, and that is going to involve compromise.
Scientists and conservationists say animals stuck on either side of the border will travel far outside their range in search of food and water. But another major man-made threat awaits them. That's part 2 tomorrow. Tammy Murga, KPBS News.